Hey, it's Brian back again with another final for today. That makes two in a row. We're getting this gear off to a flying start. We're doing the final for our GT40. This build was commissioned by my Uncle Dennis, and we had to move up the timeline on that because we'll be in his area in just a few days. So we wanted to get this done so we could truck it up there and deliver it in person. This is the Revell. It's the Revell version of the Fujimi kit. Here's the box art back here in the background. Our colors are kind of close. There's a lot of artistic license going on that box art there. We did some research and found out that the TS50 mica blue from Tamiya, which is blurry, was pretty much a close match to the Guardsman blue that car was running. So we did this one in the Tamiya. There's no gloss coat on this. It's absolutely awesome out of the can. I think it's 2 coats on there with just a little bit of wet sanding in between to get out any little fuzzies and boogers and whatnots. The decals were a bit of a problem. I think you can see right here there's a little bump molded in the body, and that caused the decal to split, even though we were using some Mark Fit Strong from Tamiya to get all that stuff to hunker down and settle. But the issue with the decals was they are, of course, old and a little bit on the thick side, but the opacity is great because the blue is not bleeding through on the white, so that's nice. And the only other real issue is the register of the decals are a little bit off. So we have a tiny little bit of a white ring here, and the red is a little bit lost on this side here for these type of decals. And for the larger ones, I recognized the register was off, so I trimmed them better so we didn't have a white half moon sticking out past the black striping on there. Other than that, they went down pretty well. Beautiful molded tires in this kit. I love the spinner knockoffs on there. Those look really cool. They did have a little bit of flash on there, but we were able to clean it up without much issue. And then up here in the front, we actually have photo etch hood pins and tie down straps. So that's one of my very early forays into dealing with photo etch. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it looks good. I like it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Not too much. Now, I had mentioned in my Mazda video that I had used a window glue, transparent. I'm not sure what to call it. It was something that was supposed to be used for transparent pieces and stuff, and it's not supposed to fog or cloud, but it did. And I had used it on this model as well. So there was a couple of little bits here where fingerprints showed up, and I went back and hit them with a little bit of Future, and that quelled it down some, but not perfect. So I'm a little disappointed in that. And that's what made me go check the Mazda real fast and realize, oh yes, we have ruined that windshield. So long story short, it's all fixed now. Again, on the side of the car, there's another one of those little bumps that's poking through the decal, which is not a big issue. We can touch that up with a little bit of white. I think that'll be nice and happy. So this kit is actually a curbside. There's no engine in there, but there is the transaxle, and there's a lot of nice little detail in there, but we can't really see it because we have a giant lid over the where the engine would be, and then the actual engine covers quite a bit. In the back, we have a photo etch screen to help vent a lot of that engine heat and such. And that does actually have a top and bottom. So it looks like it's symmetrical, but it's not. It's straight across the top, and it's kind of curved down a little bit, kind of dished a little bit at the bottom. So we just had to, it didn't say anything in instructions about that, so we just had to do a little bit of fitting, and then we were off to the races. And the one decal I thought I was going to have an absolute nightmare with was this one right back here. And we can see that it's going over the top of one of these scoops. Well, the decal is made in 2 different pieces, so you put down the large piece and it's got a pizza slice cut out of it. Then you put down the the scoop, and then make sure that's attached properly, and then you put down the last piece of the decal, match it all up and everything. I thought that was going to be an absolute nightmare. It turned out to be the best one on the damn car. So how about that, right? I figured, oh, I'm bulletproof now. And then I went on and did the other ones and had some issues there. But it's still all turned out for the best. Everything's looking good. I know that when you're using that Mark Fit Strong stuff, it makes everything wrinkle up like a prune. And just don't touch it. Let it go. It's going to figure itself back out again eventually. And usually they do. So I was very happy to find that even though these decals were a little bit on the old side, I was chatting back and forth with Pappy about decals that day. He was decaling also, and he had a couple of roadblocks, so we were commiserating over that. But Pappy, I hope it all turned out well for you there. I haven't heard from you since, so I'm hoping that everything's okay. I hope you guys like the build. I'm going to be packing this up and getting it ready to truck on up to California here pretty soon. We'll probably even enter this in the show at the NNL West, just because. But we went out and bought a jewel box for it the other day, and we're going to do our best to make sure that she's not going to get too banged up or anything on the way up there. Now, I absolutely love GT40s, and I fell in love with this particular kit, so I ended up buying a couple more of these Revell kits. I could find them for a good price here and there, so I snagged them. And so I love this car so much, we're just going to move her out of the way and show you what I got going on. I love that car so much, I'm building one for myself. And this one is, this one's actually splash paints, and this is the Guardsman blue color. So this is the actual color that it's supposed to be. We got our first coat of clear on there. We're going to be doing a little bit of polishing on that, and then we'll do a second coat, and then we'll be ready for decaling and sealing in the decals on this. So not too far off, and we'll have this one done as well. I just thought that this was such a great car that I just had to build one for myself as well. So there we have it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. I'm thinking about working on some big rig stuff. I'm working on the cab. I've chatted with Big Saul about it, and he's given me a few pointers to watch out for, and which I was well aware of, because I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be awesome, yeah. So anyway, it's gonna turn out fine. I know, I can feel it in my bones. But there you have it. We'll talk to you a little bit later on, guys. Bye now.